So if you know me, you know that I love creepy stuff and really creepy horror films. So we're gonna look at some horror movies that were actually based on true stories. Ooh.
5 horror movies based on true events.
Texas Chainsaw
Nightmare on
Massacre,
Elm
I think
Street.
was one. No way.
In the Nightmare
It's
on Elm
Nightmare.
Street film series, horribly burned murderer Freddy Krueger invades the dreams of his unsuspecting victims and kills them in their sleep.
Yes,
Which then
Freddy.
causes them to die in real life.
Oh, that is.
Turns out the idea of
claustrophobic
someone's
nightmare.
death being caused by a nightmare is not fictional. In fact, Nightmare on Elm Street was inspired by a very real news story. In 1981,
don't tell me
26
this.
healthy men from the Asian country of Laos died in their sleep, usually screaming out just before death as if they were having a terrifying dream. Doctors and scientists couldn't understand what had caused the deaths or why the condition only affected Laotians. Physicians began to label the deaths
Surely a
as, quote,
disease?
nightmare death syndrome. While studying the strange nightmare death syndrome, Professor Shelley Adler was told by one Laotian man, quote, when Laotians don't worship properly, then the spirits of their ancestors don't want to protect them. That's why the evil
That's right. In certain cultures, they believe that their ancestors protect them. Ew, why did I pause on that?
spirit
That's
is
so
able to
creepy.
come and get them. Child's Play. The Child's Play series
so
of movies
evil,
is about a serial killer who uses Haitian voodoo to possess a child's toy, a
Oh
doll.
my god, I watched that as a kid and I never realized it was a serial killer who took over a doll. I thought it was like just a possessed demon doll. I need to rewatch this series. Oh.
Named Chucky. It soon becomes apparent that Chucky is not your ordinary doll as he begins to terrorize the family.
You stupid, you filthy slut!
While the story
Oh
of
my god, zip it, bro. Zip it. That's some. Oh. Get
Chucky
him,
the
kid.
Possessed Doll was inspired by the story of Robert the Doll.
Okay, Robert the
Robert the
doll
Doll
is
was given to
terrifying.
Robert Eugene Otto as a boy. One rumor said that the
Okay, why did dolls back in the day look so damn creepy? I don't know what it was going on back then, but do parents just hate their kids? Like, you know what, you little you can get this creepy ass doll that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life.
doll had been given to Otto by a Haitian maid who disliked the family and cursed the doll.
There you go.
As a
Just like
boy,
the
Otto
family.
could often be heard talking to the doll, always referring to Robert as if he were real. Visitors to the house claimed to hear small footsteps coming from the attic where Robert was kept, and the doll would often be found in a different room with no explanation as to how it got there.
You know, I actually got a question. When they haunt these dolls, like who goes into the doll to then haunt them? Like, spirits, please come down and haunt my doll. Some poor demon's just gonna have to get in that doll and haunt a family now? Like, what? Hello?
Otto kept the doll until his death. Robert the Doll now resides in East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida.
Oh,
The museum receives hundreds of letters about the doll every year, but they don't come from fans. In fact, the letters are usually written apologies to Robert the Doll. The writers claim that after visiting the museum and either laughing at or making fun of Robert, they experienced horrible bad luck.
Don't you dare laugh at Robert. Oh my god, I just made fun of him. Robert, you have one very, very good looking doll. That was a very lucky boy to have received, be in your presence. Please, don't give me bad luck. You're one hell of a looking doll.
Including accidents and bad health. They believe that they have been cursed by the spirit of Robert the Doll. In this clip taken in the museum, many believe that Robert can be seen blinking on camera. This was not noticed by the original poster of the video. It was actually later pointed out by observant YouTube commenters.
Good old YouTube commenters, you already know.
The hills have eyes. The hills have
No way. This movie gave me nightmares. So many damn nightmares when I was a kid.
eyes is about a group of cannibalistic mutants living in the Nevada desert.
Pretty sure
They
atomic
murder
bombs
and
caused
feed
them
on
to
any
die.
travelers unlucky enough to pass through their hillside home. While the actual origin of this story doesn't come from the hills of Nevada, it comes from the hills of faraway Scotland, and the gruesome tale
Scotland? Hello? Scotland of all places? There's also some good TV ones, more movies called Wrong Turn.
of Sawney Bean.
So guys, real quick, I have a fun challenge that only takes 5 seconds to complete. If you leave a like and subscribe to this video in the next 5 seconds, you'll receive 10 years of amazing luck. And I mean, who doesn't want 10 years of amazing luck? Because I do.
And his clan.
Hillbillies.
Alexander Sawney Bean is said to have been the head of a clan of 50 people living in a cave in the Scottish hills during the 15th century. The clan lived a life isolated from the rest of society, inbreeding to the point that some members of the family had severe deformities. Sawney Bean and his clan are said to have murdered, mutilated, and even eaten over 1,000 people who traveled near their home.
I'm almost sure as well there's other places in the world where people have actually like eaten other people, and that's what like deforms you. It is so messed up.
The clan was
So
finally
creepy.
captured by a posse sent out by King James VI of Scotland. Allegedly, the entire clan were taken to Glasgow and
Oh my
Leith,
god, look at
where
this
they
kid's head. He looks terrified. Oh my god.
were
Drawings back
severely
nowadays
tortured
so weird.
and then executed for their crimes. Some believe the tales of Sawney Bean to simply be 15th century legend, but actual written accounts of the clan and their crimes do exist.
I think like certain Texas Chainsaw Massacre plus Silence of the Lambs. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they better have gotten this right, isn't 100% true. They did like, it was like based off events, but it wasn't like 100% full. No one was
Psycho,
running around with a chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs.
This reminds me of the song.
Now you may be wondering why I included all of these movies into one entry. Well, that's because of the simple fact that all three of these movies were inspired by one gruesome true story. The life of deranged serial killer, Ed Gein.
It's key.
Well, I always figured he was just perfectly harmless and rather simple.
Ed Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainsfield, was arrested on November
Back in the day, it was so easy to get away with murder. It's because like no one could, they didn't have the technology today. We're so lucky today, but it's still so scary. Hello, play for me.
16th, 1957. When police searched his house, they found an absolute horror show. Ed Gein's furniture was handmade from human bones and covered with human
Okay, I don't know if this guy's going to like talk about this, but what actually, when I looked into this, he was digging up graves and he was skinning like people alive, not alive, sorry, skinning up dead bodies and making furniture out of them and like wearing it on his face. It wasn't actually real people. It was like dead bodies. It was people's graves he was digging up. I don't know why this guy's not mentioning it.
skin. There were skulls that Gein had hollowed out and was using as soup bowls.
And
There were
chandeliers.
body parts stored in bags and boxes.
That is such a weird like,
Perhaps the most bizarre of all,
fetish.
the authorities found female masks and costumes made of actual human
Okay,
skin.
that's where Silence the Lambs.
Presumably, Ed Gein would wear these human skin suits when lounging around at home. When questioned, Gein said that he had started building his quote, woman suit after his mother's death
Oh my
because
God,
he
that is
wanted
so
to
much like
become
Silence
his
of the
mother.
Lambs. I did not realize that Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Silence of the Lambs were to be based off the same guy. I'm almost convinced Texas Chainsaw Massacre is something different again. That guy dug up graves. He didn't actually kill anyone except 2 police officers when he was trying to get caught.
Ed Gein was deemed mentally unfit to stand
Oh,
trial.
I don't know, maybe just a little bit mentally unfit. That's
and
lock
died in
on
an
the way.
insane asylum years later.
It's got some nice cheekbones.
His grotesque legacy of real-life murders, grave robbings, and insanity went on to inspire the fictional characters of Norman Bates and Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Horror, old OG
and
horror
Buffalo
films.
Bill in the Academy Award-winning
much
movie
better.
The Silence of the Lambs.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets
Misha, my dog ended up in the movie. Hello.
the hose again.
The Possession. The 2012 horror movie The Possession might not be as popular as some of the other titles on this list, but the true story behind the movie might be one of the creepiest tales of all. The Possession movie is about a young girl who gets an antique box that is
never
haunted
seen
by an
this.
evil spirit. Turns
Oh
out
no.
the ancient
You're
cave
gonna have to pause. Something's in my eye. My God, that doll's already come for me. It's ruining my eye. Oh. It's just I don't know if I'm cursed.
This is called a Dybbuk box, and is used to trap demons, keeping them locked inside.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Well, the real-life story of the Dybbuk box came straight from the internet, or more specifically from the online auction site eBay. An antique collector named Kevin Manis offered a wine cabinet
Kevin,
for sale.
why?
He claimed that the wine cabinet was purchased from the estate of a deceased
Never buying
103-year-old
off eBay
Polish
again.
woman and carried a horrible curse of an evil spirit.
Imagine
He said he
selling
wanted
cursed
to get rid of
objects.
the Dybbuk box after many strange misfortunes had befallen him and his family, including his mother having a stroke after he had given her the cabinet as a gift. While the box
Thanks,
was in his
Mom.
home, Kevin
Great
claimed to have
gift.
violent nightmares from which he awoke with scratches and bruises. And later he even claimed to have seen, quote, strange dark creatures lurking around his home. Now,
I don't know about you, but if I saw something on eBay saying cursed object brought great misfortune to my family trying to sell, I don't think I would buy it.
as weird of a
Like, as in
sales
buy the
pitch as
box.
that might be for an eBay item, Apparently someone did want the Dybbuk box. Kevin Mannis sold the cabinet to a student named Iosif Nietzsche.
Goddamn students, you said
However, Nietzsche put the box back up for sale on eBay only 8 months later, after he and his roommates began having bad luck and nightmares similar to the ones Kevin Mannis had.
Oh my god.
The Dybbuk box was
Moral
then
of the
bought
story,
by Jason
don't
Haxton.
buy cursed
Haxton
stuff.
claims that after owning the box, he began to break out in welts and hives, and even occasionally coughed up blood for no reason. Haxton says that eventually he just decided to seal the Dybbuk box inside a metal container and bury it in an undisclosed location. He has never told anyone where he buried the Dybbuk box.
Like and subscribe for this very smart man, okay? Let's get a like right now for this man who's actually got a brain. Alright, let's not buy cursed stuff. Let's just bury a big hole, put it in there, hope it never gets out again. I wonder how many things have actually been buried that like just been like disposed of. That's what I want to know. Well, that was very creepy. Some of them I already knew, some I didn't. Now I'm not going to sleep very well. But that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.